Welcome to the Smack Drop Podcast. We are your hosts, Kyle and Rob Rude. Today, we got a special guest, Benji. Say what's up, bro.
Yo, yo, yo.
Benji, where can they find you on Twitter, man?
You can find me on all platforms at Calavera Comedy, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff.
And for Rob and I, you can find us at YouTube. Just in the search bar, type in Smacked Raw Podcast. We're on Podbeam at smackedrawpod.podbean.com, and you can even find us now on what's that little platform called? Oh, Spotify. Hell yes, thank you, Rob. We are on Spotify. You can follow me and Rob both at the Kai Tai Show. Is me personally. Rob, what's your Twitter handle?
2 words. Can't see me.
That's right. Don't forget to spell out 2, and C is just the letter C.
Yeah.
Here we are, man. We normally cover just the main shows of WWE, but every now and then, if a show's got a big enough buzz, we're going to cover it. Rob and I previously AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Definitely check that out. One of the funnest episodes that we did. We covered both that and Raw. Today, we're here to talk about NXT Takeover 25.
NXT.
The real comeback to AEW. Just saying.
Yeah,
just
man.
saying.
Yeah, this is the real reply. This is a special episode because Rob, this was your first exposure to NXT, right?
Other than our shows, yes, this is my first takeover, and it was absolutely amazing.
And I'm so glad to be part of your first time.
Yeah, we popped this cherry, man.
What's great about it is like I've only watched like 2 or 3 NXT episodes, but I knew who everybody was for the most part.
That's
so
good.
Like I had my picks, and it was exciting.
It was good,
Honestly,
man.
like watching these takeovers, it's like watching one of the Avengers movies, right? You don't have to watch every single NXT.
That's a very good comparison.
You don't have to watch every single NXT, but it just enhances the experience. But it's just like that, man.
Boy, and even if you're like myself, where unfortunately I don't make time to keep up with the weekly shows, it does not take away from the entertainment value in those takeovers. It really doesn't. The production team, man, they put together good enough promo packages to kind of get you up to date with what's been going on, and then it's all about the in-ring stuff.
They had that great opening package talking about all the histories of the takeovers in the very beginning.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You forget how many people came from NXT. Like
Right.
Jesus, it's the majority of the roster now.
What gets me excited is like I see all these guys in WWE now, and like I see them from the NXT days. But now that I'm into it and I'm watching NXT, the next wave of come-ups, I'm going to be like, I seen him in NXT. So it's going to be a little different. I'm going to be like, oh my God.
Makes it special, right?
So I'm going to pop when I hear that music hit. Like, oh my God.
And then it hurts that much more when Vince ruins that
I was just going to say that. And then it hurts that much more when they die.
I'm still so salty at what they've done with Nakamura. Like,
with all of them, bro. Like, I want to say...
I didn't really like Nakamura. To be honest.
Okay,
so
what?
I don't like the guy, man. He just doesn't do it.
Our podcast had a good run. Everybody just stopped listening.
He doesn't do it for me, man.
Did you watch his match with Sami Zayn? Like the debut, like Sami Zayn's going away match and
No.
No?
Of course you didn't see it.
Of course he didn't. Yeah, no, that explains it right there.
Look, I'm still getting chills just remembering when I first saw that.
Jesus, dude. How did they not kill each other?
Yo.
They no, Rob. We always tell you to watch a million matches
and then I don't
every
watch
episode.
them there's just not enough time.
Yeah, you need to. You need to, bro. I'm just gonna have to send you the links. I'll send you the links, but that was a good one, man. Nakamura's awesome. I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't like my most anticipated call up. I actually tell you the truth, I don't know which ones really would be. Probably Finn Balor and Kevin Owens.
To those dedicated listeners, they might remember last episode when I played me marking out and finally winning or going over on the New Day. It was Nakamura that was getting pinned. I'm just throwing that out there. Because it was freaking Nakamura and I think Rusev were the random tag team that they beat.
Oh, man.
Do y'all think this was like a actual shot to like AEW?
I think it was just business as usual.
Yeah.
You know, and kudos to NXT because I actually was like, I was going to be bummed if they tried to take shots because NXT is, well, I mean, let's sum it up like this. Did you hear any AEW chants during the show?
None at all.
Because NXT is already doing. You don't need to change anything. You know what I mean?
To be honest, I think more of the shots and everything is more towards like the main roster, like Raw, SmackDown, and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't catch the Triple H thing after the show?
The thing on
I did.
Facebook,
I watched it. Yeah.
It's interesting as hell. Yeah.
The Triple H 24 or I can't. It was just
Road
24,
to WrestleMania.
Right?
Something
Road
like
to
that.
WrestleMania.
Oh, that yes, I watched that. It came.
That
on
was
my TV.
very good.
Yes, that was really good. That's how you're talking about. He always does some like live thing on Facebook, I guess.
Well, on the live thing, he just clarified that the show kind of wasn't a shot against AEW or anything like that. But if you listen to it, it's more like it was a shot kind of towards AEW, but more towards SmackDown, Vince McMahon, the main rosters, whatever. I don't know if y'all remember, like takeovers long ago used to be their own special show. Like it wasn't part of the big pay-per-view or anything like that. Like they made them now. So this is more like
it hurts the big pay-per-views now because it outperforms them.
Yeah,
right.
Survivor Series was the first time that an NXT pay-per-view outperformed the pay-per-view that succeeded it.
Yep.
That's crazy to think that Triple H's little side project, whatever you want to call it, is now outperforming during pay-per-views.
I actually tweeted that last night. I was like, AEW, I didn't know who anybody was except for, the Chris Jerichos and the big names. I didn't know who anybody was, but I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm so happy I gave these guys $50. Last night, I knew who everybody was, but I didn't know the story. I didn't know the style, whatever. I was on the edge of my seat. I watch WWE every week, and their pay-per-views just don't do it like the last two. I'm like, why can't WWE do this? Why can't it be exciting like this is right now? I mean,
that's a video for another time, though.
Right. Yeah,
we could make a whole thing about that. No, you do raise a good point, though. You do raise it. I mean, to simplify it, I think personally that now there's way more to it, but I believe like one of the biggest factors is just oversaturation. Last year, Rob, you're lucky you weren't watching last year, man, because we were getting 2 pay-per-views a month.
Really?
We were getting pay-per-view
that was crazy.
every 2 weeks, and dude, nothing mattered, bro.
I'd be okay with that because, like, even though they don't have me on the edge of the seat,
he says that now. He says that.
I'm okay with it. Like, I like Money in the Bank. I get Money in the Bank in 9 out of 10.
Nah, man, like these pay-per-views were it took away.
What was it?
The shine and specialness of almost all of them, dude.
Battleground 2015. Y'all remember that? How terrible that was?
Yeah, I think so. I want to say I do.
But then again, me saying I'd be okay with that is going back to the WCW days when we got 2 a month. But it was 2 brands, so it was 2 different things. I see what you're saying. It'd be watered down the same thing every 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the brand split. And so what they did was you had to have a Raw pay-per-view every month and a SmackDown pay-per-view every month. So they ended up being just 2 weeks apart from each other. And so every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks max, you got a pay-per-view, which meant storylines had they already struggle to make good storylines. But then if you give yourself only a 2 to 3 week window to create a compelling story, they fell on their ass way more than they did good. The only story that stuck out to me, I think it was last year, it probably was even 2017, was Dolph Ziggler potentially retiring because he couldn't beat The Miz. And that took multiple pay-per-views to create. And that was it. Like that's the only big story I remember from that period. Excuse me.
2000s. I was deep in New Japan. I don't even remember WWE.
That's what I'm talking about. That's because they struggled creatively, like very bad. At that point it was just been tough. I mean, God, man, it sounds like we're shitting on them. And no, WWE is good, but it's like
it's not as good as it could be.
Well, it's like you know how good it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Watching last night, watching AEW, that should be WWE. WWE's the empire.
Double or Nothing. Yeah, you come from Double or Nothing to Takeover, so now we're spoiled almost,
Right.
Well, anyways, we're here to actually talk about NXT 25, though, before we get too sidetracked.
So before we get into matches, can we give a shout out to that commentary team? Beth Phoenix, Marv Ronaldo, Nigel McGuinness.
Absolutely.
Amazing chemistry.
That is how you do it, dude.
Ronaldo talks on each other. I don't care what anybody says.
That's what happens when you don't have Vince in your ear feeding you line after line, plug after, when they can go out there and just do their job. That is what you get.
Also, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's kind of what I messaged Rob during the show. Rob was telling me, like, why isn't WWE like this? And I said, this is WWE without Vince. This is what you can expect once we have Vince step away. This is like a little taste. Granted, it's not the same. The wrestlers can do a more, since they're not performing 200 days out of the year. So it may not be as intense, but I mean, everybody going into that show had clear storylines. You knew everyone's motivation, and not to mention they were able to perform. We saw we saw Canadian destroyers. When's the last time you saw a Canadian destroyer on a WWE show?
Rey Mysterio did it to Andrade. I'm just saying.
That is true. That is. I mean, yeah. Okay. So that was a bad example. Other than Rey Mysterio,
you botched it, bro. Face it.
You get where I'm coming from, man. It's all out to when CM Punk pile drove John Cena on that episode of Raw back in 2011. True. It feels like you just never get to see that kind of stuff, and so I mean that's just NXT, bro. Rob, you must have been.
We lost you. Okay.
I think Rob's out getting a beer.
No. You cut out bad. Say that again.
I said, Rob, you must have been impressed.
Yes, very much so.
Very much.
Well, what a great response.
Give me something, Rob.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I was on Twitter, bro. I don't even know what the hell you just asked me. I'm not gonna lie.
What a great podcast.
The overall
professionalism.
Dude, put your phone down, Rob.
I can't do that.
These millennials, I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, Rob's older than me, folks.
Can I also give a quick shout out to Alicia Taylor, the ring announcer?
Yeah,
she's worked her ass off to get to this first takeover, man. She's just a down to earth, amazing person. Just a shout out to her.
Nice, man. Nice.
Okay.
But Rob, okay. Let me ask you just a general question. I'll let you go ahead. And Takeover is just, what was your overall impressions of the Takeover show as a whole?
I want more. Plain and simple. Like, it was all around a solid card. Everything was good. Even the first match that was a non-title match, it had my favorite NXT guy in it, like Matt Riddle. That's my boy. I love Matt Riddle. Like, all around, it was great. It was absolutely excellent.
You know something that like NXT does that the main roster doesn't do? It's just like little details. Like that Roderick Strong versus Matt Riddle match at Strong. Strong attacked him last week and had his flip-flops covered in blood. And that started this whole feud. And that just set the tone of the entire match right off the bat. Little details like that.
Yeah, and they were intense too. Like they really did go at that match level of intensity. And what a great intro to the match, because NXT did open with Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong, where Matt Riddle did win. And it was actually the only match of the night where there was no gold on the line, but the stakes still felt high because one of the underlying themes of the night was Undisputed Era. They were involved in
3 matches.
Three of the 5 matches, and they were talking Undisputed Era being draped in gold. And even though there was no title on the line, this kind of set the tone for the faction in a whole anyways. So it was surprising to see Matt Riddle win personally, but I think it was the right call anyways, seeing as the guy carries a lot of hype, and he did lose his previous NXT TakeOver match to the Velveteen Dream. So he did need a big win, and I was happy with the result. But we saw a lot of knee strikes, power bombs, and reversals, and the match never slowed down.
It really
Roderick Strong was killing Riddle for a lot of this match.
Kind of crazy that Riddle hasn't been wrestling all that long, if you think about it.
Yeah,
he picked up on it well.
handful of years. He took to it like a brofish to water, yo.
I like this guy.
I do have to ask though. Everybody puts out there, ask our podcast a question, whatever. I forget who it was, but my question to another podcast was: if Matt Riddle had a baby girl, would it still be a baby bro?
Nice.
Oh God, dude, come on.
This guy stinks.
Oh my God! You know what the thing is Benji. I don't know about you, but me and Rob are both fathers, so I can appreciate.
With the dad jokes. Okay, I got
dad jokes, man. I can appreciate the hell out of them, man. Something flips inside to appreciate corny jokes, dude.
No, I
you have
totally
a child.
Get it. It reminds me of this one time I was dating this girl named Felony, but she broke up with me. She kept giving me a hard time.
You say your name was Felony?
Yeah, she kept giving me a hard time. You happy?
I can't get over that, stupid.
But anyways, strong.
Oh my God! Stop. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Strong.
He really showed why he is called the Messiah of the backbreaker.
Yeah, man.
Just kept targeting that back from every direction, and then Riddle's offense just so brutal. His bro to sleep, the Broderick, which a Bo Derek, 2-sport athlete, nice. The final flash knee strike, yo, vicious. Then when he hit that floating bro into Strong's knees, and then he gets put into that stronghold, yo.
It was an awesome match. Like it really was. I forget every time like a takeover happens because they're so consistent. Like I almost go into the show like, okay, this one has to be the stinker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it catches you off guard because they're just so consistent. I would love to be a fly on the wall, watching these performers, like go over their matches and hearing the creative process, and to find out if the NXT creative system, Triple H and everyone with them, and did you hear? Actually, that reminds me, Rob. You know how we were talking about we thought we heard that Road Dogg left WWE and went to AEW.
He was there last night, right? Was he there? Okay,
Road
Dogg
didn't go to AEW. He stepped down from the main card
and he went to NXT
to work with Triple H and work in NXT.
Okay, I thought I seen him last night. Like when he was on the TV, I was half paying attention.
Yeah, I was so happy to hear that because I mean, as excited as I would be to hear about another defection to AEW. Road Dogg was one of honestly the best parts of SmackDown behind the scenes, and to hear that he became creatively frustrated and then went to NXT where arguably he can probably do better work, It just made me happy. It sounds like it's a win-win, and not to mention it's two DX guys sticking together, so that's pretty cool too.
Speaking of people being there, did you see that? Who's the doctor chick from AEW?
Britt Baker. I saw that.
She was 2 seats away from Stephanie McMahon.
You see the nasty look she gave Stephanie on the air? Oh, it was so good.
I don't know if y'all know, Shawn Michaels is one of the trainers there. And
I seen that.
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels is my biggest favorite boo of all time. If I had to pick one guy to watch forever, it'd be him.
Rob's favorite.
Yes. So I seen that. I'm like, oh my God. Like, oh, it's so great.
I think Ronaldo said it best with that first match. At the end, he said it was brutal, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
could not have said it any better.
So punctual. You know what I mean? Oh, so good.
And then first match, and you get a standing ovation, and that's just the first match.
It sets the tone, though. You know what I mean? It sets the tone, and it's a shame that I won't dive too into much because it sounds like a bummer, and it's really not. But it is a shame that the NXT, in Vince's eyes, is still just a developmental system and not its own brand. Because as its own brand, it's amazing. Like it really is. I don't know how I managed to watch SmackDown and Raw every week, but yet I can't find time for NXT because as much as I enjoy the product.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And it's funny because NXT is only an hour.
And no, it's such easy to digest. I think just after sitting through Raw and SmackDown, like I am tapped out for a week. Like I can't put up with any more wrestling after watching those two shows, which is it sounds like a disservice because SmackDown's typically good and Raw is not always a stinker, but it does exhaust me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's exhausting. It's like when you're climbing up a ladder when you're super tired. You know, speaking of which, the four-way ladder match.
The four-way ladder match. What an awesome segue into our next match.
Wait, nope. I do want to cut you off and say I am a chanting guy. And like I said, Matt Riddle is my favorite guy in NXT. And the bro thing. When his music's playing like and the crowd's like, bro, I want to be part of that so bad.
Well, so get yourself down to Full Sail, you know, and you'll be able to bro out with them.
Oh, I would be the loudest guy in the building.
I don't know, man. That crowd's pretty intense. But to Benji's point, man, next up was my personal match of the
most insane ladder match I think I've ever seen in my life.
Nice. We saw the Street Profits defeat the other, 3 teams to win the vacant NXT tag titles. They defeated the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Jackson Riker, and the team of Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. And oh my God, how is Kyle O'Reilly still alive?
Did y'all see the picture of his back?
Yep.
No, I didn't.
Yep.
He has a mean laceration, It looks just like a gunshot wound.
Yeah, he got
really
it was
punctured. Nasty, man. He took it. Because he was the one on the ladder when. What was the powerbomb spot? Do either of you remember, So
there was a powerbomb spot. Before that, O'Reilly was climbing up the ladder.
Yeah.
And I think it was Steve Cutler. He grabbed his leg, and that's when Fish tackled him. And even before that, because the camera cut away, so as he tackled him, he's still holding onto O'Reilly's leg. So he falls face first onto a ladder rung, which was a little awkward moment after Fish and O'Reilly, they kind of switched.
Yeah.
And so then Wesley Blake is coming over there. That's where he picks up O'Reilly. Power bombs him into the ladder, which collapses and causes Fish to fall right on top of O'Reilly.
Yeah. I loved that, dude. I loved that so much.
Was that the spot where they said they killed Kyle?
just when you thought, like, are they okay? The god of commentary, the GOAT, Mauro Ranallo says, "Oh my God, they killed Kyle!"
It spawned so many memes.
I swear, I jumped out of my seat and started laughing like a starving hyena. Like, I didn't expect that at all.
This got I was watching this with my toddler, my 3-year-old, which he's one of the funnest people to watch wrestling with because if I get animated, he'll just amplify it. You know what I mean? He's such a good hype man, and this got the most audible verbal cues for me. Like, oh my God, I got to say holy crap, because I got to censor myself around my kid. But so many times this really got me audible, which I normally just silently appreciate the shows, and then I'll come unglued on social media like a loser. But this one literally got me at so many points just to come out of my seat, and you got to appreciate that nowadays, man.
For me, there was a spot. There's a couple spots. One spot I did not like. It's kind of early in the match. Fish and O'Reilly are climbing up the ladder, and Wesley Blake comes out of nowhere, pushes the ladder before either one of them could. And that causes O'Reilly to fall back first onto the side of the ladder.
Before he was able to brace himself. I think I remember which one you're talking about. Yeah.
There was that, and then there was another moment. The Forgotten Sons had I forget who they had, but they set up their diving foot stomp.
Yeah.
But the dude did it off the top of the ladder. And I don't know if you ever remember how Sid Vicious ever broke his leg.
Yeah, the one-footed
which was the similar thing. He does a diving foot stop from the top of the ladder, and then you could see the rest of the match. Dude was limping.
I'm not surprised, man. I'm 31 years old, man. I'll walk in some, torque my knee, and I'm like shot for like the next week. You know,
Right.
I think like what got me the most was this was my introduction to Jackson Riker, and to see just some, you know, what's awesome in wrestling is when you see stuff that makes sense, when you see wrestlers do things that make sense. Jackson Riker pretty much took out the everybody in succession. And so how did they reply? By everybody teaming up and just beating the piss out of him. Like they stomped him like a freaking gang initiation, and then they beat him down with the ladder. Like I was so happy. Because you rarely see logic, man, and that was so.
I got a perfect example of that. Money in the Bank. These guys, 7 guys, killing themselves, and then you got Brock Lesnar coming out doing nothing and just taking the damn thing.
And nobody had the wherewithal to try and
nothing.
Leg. You know what I mean? Just let him climb there uncontested.
You had Ali already, had briefcase in hand way before this guy was an entrance ramp, which didn't make sense.
Exactly.
You have this one, perfect way to do an interference. He comes in, like you said, they run a train on him and everything.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if we can say that.
I actually wanted to turn that into an animation. When they were all lifting the ladder and beating the shit out of him in succession. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm sorry, man.
That'd be a good animation for like when somebody says something dumb on Twitter.
I'm sorry, Rob.
All right, let's get back on track.
Anyways, the match finished with Montez Ford springboarding seemingly out of nowhere to knock I can't remember, it was one of the Forgotten Sons. Looked like they had the titles in hand, but knocked one of them off and to get the win for
Montez
Street Profits.
Montez Ford is a freak athlete, yo.
Yeah,
he gets on his frog splashes, man. When he did that blockbuster, the leap over the ladder onto Jackson Riker.
Did you happen to let the network overrun the Triple H special, because they went right into the WWE Combine?
I actually caught the Combine the day it came out, and
okay,
some of them are Bianca Belair, yo. She outworked not only the women, most of the men there too. Lifted more, and she's a beast.
Yeah, no, Belair is. I didn't watch it like entirely. I was more or less at that point playing on my phone, but I had it in the background, and I kept looking over because at a certain point they made it a point to look at some of the people. Mm-hmm. And you saw a bunch of these, what is it? What do they refer to? They're in training. They're
rookies.
Essentially rookies, yeah. But you saw other people, like you saw Shayna Baszler. She's been there for a year or two now. Yeah. And so they saw some well-established characters in there doing
the way they split it up was the established people, men and women, and then the people who just got there to NXT.
Yeah. And but it was cool. I'm not necessarily saying it's for everybody, but for a background show, it was cool. And Montez Ford, I think, was on it. I can't remember, but I imagine if he was, he definitely would have been one of the highlights. I didn't watch it like the whole way through, but it did catch my eye. I didn't realize WWE airs a Combine. I think this was the second year doing it.
First time they actually aired it. They usually record it, but they don't air it.
Oh, okay.
But I have to say, Montez Ford and D'Angelo Dawkins, Street Profits, they've come a long way. Like Dawkins, he's been here almost since the beginning of NXT. He just really couldn't find himself. He was basically a jobber. And once he teamed up with Ford, something clicked, and they've been killing it. And they've just been getting better and better. And it's one of the best things you see about NXT. You see people come in, fresh. They're starting to learn. You see their ups and downs. You see them find their characters. You see them find what works. And then you see that moment when it just all clicks.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and because I've quietly heard about them for a long time, but I always thought they were kind of like not necessarily like nobodies, but like people that don't make big splashes. but it just seems they've gotten so much momentum. And they have that awesome gif of, is it Montez Ford with the gif of the Solo Cup?
Yeah, that's him.
That is him. Yeah. I mean, that's
just
gonna
them two together. It just works. So.
Yeah.
I fell in love with him the moment I seen him. I know that much.
I'll be right back. You guys go ahead. I'll be right back.
No, like a lot of people had something to prove in this match. Like you had the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, and like the Street Profits, these guys had to work hard. Wesley Blake, I don't know if you know, used to be in a tag team with Buddy Murphy and Alexa Bliss.
Really? I didn't know that.
First NXT Tag Team Champions, and obviously Buddy Murphy, Alexa Bliss rise to stardom, and Murphy just simply forgotten. Steve Cutler was pretty much an enhancement talent jobber. He lost to the who's who of NXT. He lost to CJ Parker, now it's Juice Robinson. He lost to Baron Corbin. He lost to Nakamura. He lost to Samoa Joe. And as more and more people kept coming in, he just keeps getting pushed back and back behind the line. But I have to give them props. They threw it all out there in that match.
They did. It was
honestly,
definitely excellent.
like, straight up, I'm not a fan of them. To me, in my opinion, they're like those kids that your mom forces you to hang out with because their mom is friend with your mom, and then you'll just never hear the end of it. Then 15 years later, they end up sleeping with your girlfriend and having a happy time, and life is together. Well, good for them.
Oh, that is a good explanation.
Speaking of good life, another one's Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan. Just another story of grinding from being enhancement talent to being just show-stealing, hard-hitting and bruisers. You know, Danny Burke and Oney Lorcan, they're like if you put Dean Malenko and Cesaro in a tag team. That's what they're like.
That would be an amazing tag team. I'd be all about that.
That's what they're at. Every match, that's how they go at it. Then Undisputed Era, as you've seen, since first introduction to them, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. They've been the best faction at NXT, dominating especially the tag team division for years.
They all have such distinguished personality.
Yeah.
It's like a combination of four guys that could all make it individually, but also blend very well as a crew. And I think that's what makes it so great, because Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole. Granted, Adam Cole seems like the biggest of the single guys, but they all could be single stars. Like every one of them, dude. One of my favorite gifs I have is of Kyle O'Reilly taking it's his facial expression. It's before I think he got to WWE, but he just like took a chop block, and the way he sold it between the initial pain and then like the what the hell did you do that for? Like look on his face. It's so good. Like, oh man, and it's not just because him and I share a name, and he's probably the coolest Kyle to hit WWE ever.
Probably the coolest Kyle ever, yeah.
It may be, man. Maybe.
Yeah, it's like not even close. Like not even.
Because if you go online, every Kyle is like punching holes in their freaking walls and drinking Monster. You know, like it's not a good look, man. It sucks getting on Facebook as a Kyle. All right, because I'm getting ripped on every day now. But anyways, yeah, dude. Undisputed.
Speaking of facial expressions, classic Kyle O'Reilly facial expression. As he's climbing up the ladder, camera pans in on him, zooms in, and is shocked when he sees Jackson Riker coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, he escaped death many times throughout this match. There was a segment, the Forgotten Sons, you know how you do that little ladder copter thing? They put the ladder on the head.
Yeah.
They had a little twist for both of them doing it, which was cool. But then they get suplexed, and as they get suplex, the ladder goes flying, and an inch closer, that would have clipped Kyle O'Reilly. That would have been his career.
That would have been a wrap. It would have been like a la to when Joey Mercury,
like it would
caught the seesaw spot to the face and just ripped him a hole like between his eyes. Oh god.
And then I think Fish was injured in this match actually.
Yeah, I saw he came out in a sling. I didn't follow up to.
After Montez Ford did the dive, you have Bobby Fish in the left top left corner, and Lorcan and Birch they start teaming up on him. They give him an arm bar, and as they do that, Birch gives him an uppercut to his arm. I don't know if he snapped something or what happened, because obviously you see him in a sling later, but he just started screaming out in pain after that, and they obviously threw him out of the ring.
Poor guy, dude, because he just got done being injured not too long ago.
Yeah, that knee, yeah.
Yeah, man. Some people, man, you always get scared that they might be perceived as injury prone, and sometimes it's just a bad luck, man.
That's the thing, though. Like, you get injured, someone takes your spot, Someone takes your spotlight.
I mean, look what happened to Ali. Oh, Spotlight. And speaking of Spotlight,
we have Tyler Breeze versus Velveteen Dream, and it feels so right.
Dude, talk about two guys with extremely similar but different gimmicks. I gotta ask you, Rob. You there, right, Rob?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your take on the Dream and Breeze?
I thought this match was amazing. Like, I knew the hype on Tyler Breeze. I knew him coming back was a big deal. And the only thing I really seen on the Dream was him coming out on the rollout couch with women pushing him out there and him. I do want to say that the thing he did with the national anthem, I thought was some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
I loved that.
I thought it was the dumbest shit ever. I thought it was disrespectful, but that's just me. Other than that,
you're looking too deep into
it has nothing to do with looking too deep. It's like I just didn't like it. Like, if it was somebody I liked doing it, I don't know. I can't really explain it. It's not that I'm looking too deep. I just don't like the way he did it. I don't know. That's beside the point. I thought
that's fair.
I thought Dream was cool.
That's why you're on the show, man. You bring a very different side,
right?
Like a baby child,
right? Like I cringed. I cringed while he was doing that. Well, everybody else cringes over Usi Cream. I cringed over that.
Bro, that is one of the worst segments ever.
I don't know
this
exactly
is going to divulge
it is.
into such a debate.
I don't know exactly what it was that bugged me about that segment. I didn't like it. Other than that,
some things rub you the wrong way, man.
The guy's amazing. And I haven't even seen him
wrestle. Really is.
I haven't seen him in full get-up. Like, he had the hair all done up last night. Even my wife's like, this guy's looking like Prince. And I'm like, he matches it so well. Check him out.
Which little Easter egg, that little white shirt he wore, he has not worn that since he first debuted as Velveteen Dream.
Oh, nice.
Nice. I didn't even know that.
The little details in this. And then, as you've seen, Tyler Breeze normally wears colorful outfits or whatever. He wore all black this time. And as you saw, he was more aggressive than he's ever been.
That's
than we've
true.
Ever seen.
He didn't lean too hard into the narcissist,
right?
That he portrayed while he was in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Breeze was obviously the more sympathetic of the two, which allowed Dream, even though Dream is a crowd favorite,
to be the heel,
to heal it up.
Yeah,
and it was good because it did allow the crowd. This was probably the most divided the crowd was.
Mm-hmm.
It's a toss-up between this and the main event.
I honestly didn't know who to go for. I wanted Breeze to win, but it was too early for Dream to lose. So
and that was my thoughts. But I definitely leaned on the side of Breeze, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because the big like, dude, he's been part of the WWE system
forever.
Between developmental, NXT, and main roster.
Go ahead.
And he's never won a belt. This
dude has been here since before there was an NXT. They had a thing called FCW.
Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yeah,
yep.
A lot of guys came from there. He was, I think, one of the last group to come from there.
Seth Rollins, I think, came from that along with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, all of them. But that's how long he's been here, just holding it down. And you were people. I was so happy when he went up. Like he deserved it, And then to see what happened once he was up there. It was a missed opportunity with him and Fandango with the Fashion Police because that junk caught fire and then they freaking
they put it down by just relegating it to the WWE.com segments. Like, go online. Like, dude, the vast majority of your audience is not gonna go to your generic website to keep up with storylines and skits.
No shade or anything, but they have a terrible WWE.com is a terrible website. It's just ugly to look at.
It's outdated, man. It's outdated.
Speaking of WWE exclusives, did you see the Iconics on there today?
What?
I did not. I'm sure they did something ridiculous.
They were in the back area walking around with their new T-shirt, trying to get people to buy their new T-shirts. They fucking walked up to Jeff Jarrett, like, "Hey, look at our new shirts," and they got fucking Jinder Mahal to put one on.
Oh Jesus, dude! Talk about just how the mighty have fallen. Poor Jinder, man.
Which, speaking of Jinder Mahal,
he was about it though. You can tell
you saw that Jinder won the 7th.
Oh yes, I actually took a screenshot of R-Truth getting dragged on the golf cart and made it my Twitter banner.
I like that. It was nice.
It's nice, man.
If I would have done it, I would have had like a lot of the wrestlers like undercover as just playing golf right there, and then you have Truth just walking. You know, and you guys seen John Wick, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So as he's walking past these people playing golf, he's playing golf, and they start like slowly like taking their stuff off, start chasing him, right? Then you got Truth running, and then you cut to you guys seen 28 Days Later?
That's like my favorite zombie movie of all time, bro.
I think the second part, where he's was it 20 months, 20 something, 20 weeks.
28 weeks is the sequel.
The opening segment, you could have had R-Truth, like the camera cuts to him, you just see him running, and then you see the wrestlers just coming down the hill, just chasing him. I thought that would have been hilarious.
Oh man, I now have to edit a segment that shows all the times of Truth running from the entire card roster and dub the 28 days.
Perfect with the song.
Yes. Oh my god, you just gave me a project for tomorrow.
Speaking of Jinder Mahal and the Fashion Police, the first WWE show I ever went to was Backlash in Chicago. That's the match where you had the Fashion Police fight the Usos. The one they switched different costumes.
The janitors. Yeah.
The crowd was dying laughing.
That was like the apex of their hype.
Yes, like because they didn't believe they could mix comedy in with a serious match, and they proved that it can be done. And everybody was going nuts for them.
Yeah, man.
And speaking of Mahal, like, I know the cameras like to show people shocked and disappointed that he won or whatever. That's not how it happened. That's not how it went down. People were ecstatic. Chicago loved the fact that he won.
Dude, I was like jumping up and down when he beat Randy.
You had,
like, I was so happy, man.
You had strangers sitting next to each other that would never talk to each other. Everyone was in arms, just happy to see this guy won.
Yeah, man. They didn't give a damn about like what led into it, like the politics or anything. It was just nice to see undercard guy get it. You know what I mean?
And it was genuine. Like you saw, he put in the work. He bulked up. Like he did everything right. He carried that title with such honor. You know.
There's footage of him when he went backstage that night. Like he was bawling his eyes out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, he was so grateful for the opportunity. It's unfortunate that his run, in a lot of people's eyes, came off as stale and not the greatest, which I do tend to agree with. But the initial win, I was happy for.
I think you had most of his matches end with disqualification. Like he had, I think, 3 matches against Nakamura, and they were all the same ending every time.
You're never gonna look good if the Great Khali is who backs you up, man. I'm sorry.
And then the Great Khali. That was the Punjabi cage match, right?
The Punjabi prison, yeah.
Prison. Dude, he tries to take the title from Mahal as he's trying to celebrate.
No.
Like, what are you doing?
Mahal looked like a child next to him, too. It was awesome. Anyways, going back to the match, Rob, what stood out to you most about this match?
I honestly forgot what match we're talking about. I'm not gonna lie.
Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze. Sorry, man. We got carried away talking about Mahal.
What stood out most was the fact that these guys were 2 unique characters and it clashed into one, and the chemistry was amazing. They're both me guys. Look at me. I'm colorful, and you got Velveteen with the getting in the ring, laying on the ground, moving around like Prince, and then you got Velveteen with a smirk taking selfies. Like it was such good chemistry. I was excited to watch this match. Like when Dream was in the ring doing his thing, and who's the other guy? What the hell is his name? I already forget.
Tyler Breeze.
That guy.
Breeze,
he was just chilling on the ropes, like
his name.
Tyler Gorgeous.
He was just like, I'm gonna sit here and take selfies. You do your thing.
Prince pretty, man. The sultan of selfies.
I really wanted them to tweet that selfie though. I don't know if they did, but like I was checking out Dreams like.
What did you
Twitter.
guys think about the finish?
It was good.
I mean, it made sense. It like I wouldn't. So if you're gonna have Dream win, I didn't want him to win clean over Breeze because I want Breeze to not come across as a main Carter who stepped down to NXT just to take a loss. Kind of like how Rhino was. Rhino came down to NXT just to lose to people, and I don't want that for Breeze.
No, he deserves better. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you saw Breeze get taken out on the announce table. Dream took the opportunity to really lean into the heel roll and grab Breeze's cell phone, snap a selfie of him with the North American Championship.
As you say cheese.
Yeah, it's so good. And then I liked that Breeze told, got control of the match. And essentially, the only part that I was like, okay, this looks cool, but it's counterproductive. So the ref's about to count out Dream, in which case most wrestlers just roll in and roll out because that'll reset the count. Well, Breeze didn't think of that. He had to go to the ref. I was like, ref, stop. It's like, just go back out the ring. Okay?
I've had a screenshot of Double or Nothing of the two librarians shushing each other, and I have been waiting for the precise moment to use that screenshot, and I did. I was like, did you guys see what Breeze did to the ref?
But but the idea that the Dream resorted to trying to hit Breeze with the bell and Breeze being wise, but only to get use it as a distraction to get beat. I did like it. It allows Breeze to still come across as strong, and hopefully he's gonna find some gold.
Did y'all happen to catch what Velveteen tweeted after this match?
No, I didn't.
It was only up for an hour.
Oh, it was about AEW.
He put follow that AEW.
Yep.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking it, man.
Oh, Velveteen Dream's a rebel.
I'm liking it, dude. I especially liked the shot that Breeze took at him before the match, leading up to it. He said something along the lines like, yeah, when you post your phone number on your trunks and no one calls you, it's because they're not interested in you.
So for those who haven't seen, I forget what takeover it was, but on his tights, he had
Dream had.
Dream had call me up Vince, and he had his number on the trunks and everything.
Yeah, and if you paid attention to the news shortly afterwards, apparently Vince and Co. was not pleased. Because that was like you said, Dream's a rebel, and apparently that
wasn't okayed.
Yeah, it was not okayed. He took initiative, which is a weird thing in WWE because Vince praises those that take initiative and grab the brass ring, but then also condemns those who do it. So it's always a risk.
If you're gonna
seen with the Jon Moxley interviews recently, it's pretty crazy what's going on over there.
If you're gonna do it. Like, make it worth it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do something that's gonna piss him off, make it fucking worth it.
I mean, if you need the money, maybe play it safe. But if you're financially set and stable, man, go for it. You only get one life. You know what I mean?
From what I've seen, especially from like that Moxley interview, a lot of the wrestlers are actually apparently not afraid to get fired, but doing things like that mostly ends up getting the producers or writers or other people that work backstage fired, which is why you don't see a lot of them just do it.
Yeah, because one of the writers got fired whenever Bret Hart mentioned Vince during his Hall of Fame speech, because Vince doesn't like to be have his name dropped during Hall of Fame speeches, and the writer that helped produce Bret Hart's Hall of Fame introduction, got fired after he mentioned damn Vince McMahon. So, yeah, it's true. Yeah, so there's more than one person that gets punished. I didn't actually even think of that.
A lot of punishment going around, especially
what happened to Shayna Baszler after a match with Io Shirai.
Exactly.
Segue.
The consummate professional.
Oh my god, dude! Oh man, we need you for these segues, bro. That's awesome.
So, what did you guys think about that?
I've been waiting for this. Why the hell did this girl come on here? This Shayna Baszler. I don't like her. I don't like her one bit. I'll admit it's her job, and like that's why I don't like her. Unlike Baron Corbin, I don't like because he's just. Her I don't like.
That's neither here nor there.
Her I don't like because it's her job for me not to like her. But
right,
she's cutting a promo. I have this belt. Blah, 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 blah. And people tried to take my belt. Blah, 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 blah. The people that tried to take my belt are gone. Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, and Kairi Sane.
She really did, man.
They got called up and left you behind, and you're talking shit. I'm sorry, but they got called up. They got brought to the major league, and you're still behind. That just rubbed me. I'm like, if you're going to cut a promo and talk shit about somebody, talk shit about somebody that didn't get called up before you.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It doesn't make, like... So, from a kayfabe standpoint, it really doesn't make much sense for you to lose a match and then get promoted. You know what I mean? Like, I like kind of like how it happened for Asuka never lost her title. You know what I mean? And that's the way it should be. It should be you clear out the roster. You've got nothing left to prove. They call you up. But, you know, in traditional pro wrestling, you got to put over the new talent. So it's a weird thing to navigate because
she did beat Ember Moon several times. She beat Kairi Sane several times. It's not like they just lost and then left. They lost. Yeah.
Like
they got promoted. Name another job to get a promotion after multiple failures. You know what I mean?
Apparently, you can be president. I don't know.
Oh my God! Let's not go there, bro. Let's avoid that.
But you got a promotion. Like, I don't know. It just rubbed me like not the wrong way. But I mean, I beat them and now they're gone.
How many times can we get this show shut down?
I'm sorry about that. No, but I understand what you're saying. Like, she's trying to keep it storyline as far as the end of the match, but then the behind the scenes.
I get what you're saying too. I get it. They moved on to what's regarded as the more prestigious promotion. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying there.
I can.
There's arguments for both sides. There's arguments for both sides with that promo. But you're right. Shayna Baszler does rub people the wrong way for the majority.
I'm all Shayna Baszler. Coming from MMA,
I'm ready for her to be on Raw, dude.
Yeah, but it's like the women's division right now on the main roster is a little weird.
Well, SmackDown's stacked, ain't it?
Yes, I think SmackDown has more of the women, and then
Raw got all the tag teams. It's a whole mess right now. But then you have like what the God damn it! You'd swear this isn't my job, but it's
you have the women's belt on both brands.
No, Vince's whole BS that allows it to really end the brand split. The whole wild card
thing.
The wild card, yeah. So
makes no sense at all.
It doesn't matter. It just matters. It all depends on what story's going on. You can go to either brand.
But for a lot of people, this was their first time seeing Io Shirai in a match, and
she's the master of the moonsault. She's got one of the best moonsaults.
Beautiful moonsault.
Rob, what was your take, man?
My take was when I seen the promo card, like the actual picture.
Yeah.
This girl looks like she's straight out of Zelda, and I thought it was so
awesome.
hot. Oh my God! I'm like,
man.
You need to go hang out with Zelda or go hang out with Link, and oh my God, take a picture. It'd be so amazing. That was honestly my first take. But
he's not sleeping tonight. That's for sure.
After that, I wanted her to win. Like not liking the heel aside, I wanted her to win. She was bubbly, just most Japanese wrestlers are. But I wanted her to win, and I also wanted to see her take the belt from the heel and bring a pop to the crowd. So that was my take, and the match as a whole was amazing. Like, it was back and forth. It was amazing.
It was, very back and forth. Her Baszler working her arm, and then watching it again come to play later on as she tries to go for the cover, the pin, whatever, just counter after counter. And like you guys said before, in ways that make sense, you know. She goes for the pin and then bridges backwards, and then that one mistake of bridging backwards on the pin allowed Baszler to put in her submission on her. Mm-hmm. It was hard hitting match too, very hard hitting. A lot of shots to the face, that one.
And you had Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir making their presence known with,
and then with Kendo over here.
Yes. I must say, though,
Johnny Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae. Thank you.
Oh, she's
coming
hot.
out for the defense.
She's hot. Just saying.
Rob's so honest, man.
I don't like the ending. Like, I'm not a fan of the sleeper hold. Like, if you're gonna have like a tap out ending, do it Ronda Rousey style, where it comes out of nowhere, boom, the arm's about to be broke, and you tap like right away, or like a sharpshooter that lasts, like, oh my god, finally I give up. But a sleeper, like,
well, I think if it depends on
more of a choke. I think I don't.
And it also depends on the person that applies it.
Yeah, it makes sense with her MMA background for her to put a choke on somebody.
That's like one of the old WCW pay-per-views. You couldn't pay me $1 million to tell you which one, but it was when Hogan fought Roddy Piper, and Roddy Piper beat Hogan with a sleeper. I was young.
Right.
I'll never forget how disappointed I was at the end of that match. I'm like, that's a dumb way to end a match. I just don't like the sleeper hold. I don't like the choke holds.
You need to have some legitimacy around your character to have the sleeper or the coquina clutch or whatever you're going to call it as in your arsenal. So, I mean, think about the main people who use it. You got Shayna Baszler, you got Samoa Joe, and you got Asuka.
Now,
all of these people feel like legitimate badasses.
Maybe it's because I don't know who she is. Because now that you mention it, when Samoa Joe does it, I'm about it.
Yeah, I think it depends on your character. Like, if you had John Cena applying a sleeper, you know what I mean? It really wouldn't have. Then I would agree to you. If you come across as legitimate, I think it works, you know? So I'm not as mad at that. Although I would like to see Shayna Baszler have a high impact move as well, you know?
Back in the Indies, she used to do like a fisherman suplex. That used to be her thing. Yeah. I'm not sure why they took it off now.
Probably because because the rear naked choke just seemed vicious, especially when someone who looks like an MMA person, you know. Because Shayna Baszler obviously doesn't fit the mold of model trying to wrestle. You know, Shayna Baszler, you look at her, she looks intimidating. You know what I mean?
She looks like she'll whoop your ass without.
Yeah.
Like, you don't mess with her.
Exactly. You know. But no, I liked it, and I liked the finish, man. I liked with Io Shirai setting up. It obviously is setting up a like a hardcore or no DQ match.
Oh, with the chair, the moonsault with the chair.
Yo. Dude, I have never seen in 20 years of watching wrestling someone moonsault with a chair. I'm sure it's been done, but personally, I cannot think of ever seeing that before. That was awesome, dude. And then I saw someone else post a GIF saying that she went full savage and she tried to harpoon Shayna Baszler with the kendo stick. She was too.
She was stabbing her with that
stick. Oh my god! I hope that doesn't come across as racist because it was gorgeous, dude. It was awesome. Oh man! No, exactly. Like no, it looked good. It looked good, man. She lost her stuff on her, dude.
Which, as obviously you said, it seems like setting up the feud for another match.
Yeah. My favorite part of this was on Twitter. I hate to say like it brought up a Twitter thing, but Io Shirai Forever or Io Shirai's fan page was just losing their stuff online. Like, and I try not to troll people, but it was this woman or whoever runs this fan page, man, lost their stuff, dude. And I can't wait to tag them so I can give them a shout out because I wasn't trying to be too mean, but I think they were taking this loss a little too seriously because they lost their stuff online. I think a little too much, but hey, all of us can.
You get invested into a match, man. Sometimes you're just like on the edge of your seat. You don't know what's gonna happen. Especially with the Gargano-Cole match.
Oh. The main event. Oh, such a good segue, man. God, you're such a professional.
I want to know what Rob thought about this, since I'm pretty sure it's your first time seeing these guys.
I knew who they both were. Obviously, I know who Bebe is, because he's the biggest guy in NXT right now.
Right.
And the only reason I knew who Gargano was or whatever is because he is the champion. I was excited for this match. I picked Bebe off the bat just because he's like Johnny Champion is cool and all, but like that's generic. Johnny Champion. Who, meanwhile, this other guy, his name is Bebe. Like boom, right there. That alone, I'm like, oh, you Bebe, you win. I want you to win. And of course, he's part of the Undisputed Era, which I was gonna plug earlier, but we kind of moved on. I wanted to say that around WrestleMania time, like Twitter wanted the Undisputed Era to come up. I knew nothing about NXT. I thought everybody was talking about they wanted all the fucking belts to unify and everything be undisputed. There was no more brand split. There was a champion.
Oh, you took it literally.
Yes, I'm like, damn, y'all really want these belts to come together right now.
Awesome.
And then my first time watching NXT, they were like the Undisputed Era, and it just clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, they talking about these guys.
You know what I like is when they formed their faction, there was such blowback to the faction name, but now the faction name is so badass, and that just shows that it's not always marketing. It's if you are good at your job, you'll get anything, and that's what's cool. So I remember so many people when they heard about, because they wanted them like referred to as like Dishonored because of all of their Ring of Honor ties. And so when people heard they were being called Undisputed Era, everyone shit on it, dude. Like it was the worst thing ever. And then here we are saying that faction's one of the coolest thing ever, and I never hear anyone bashing on the name.
That's pretty much how the wrestling community is.
I was just gonna say that everybody shits on everything when it's new, and then they
love it the next day.
Right? Yeah. Like, come on, man.
I always say like nobody hates wrestling more than wrestling fans.
Yes. You know what's funny? I mentioned it like earlier. I was part of the Pokemon. I mean, I'm still part of both communities, but like I'm huge in the Destiny community. And, like, I mentioned, guys, I just made a wrestling Twitter and blah, blah. 2 people warned me about that. They're like, look, like, people bitch about everything. And I'm like, Like, and then the next day they're happy with it. I mean, that's just the way the community is, and it is what it is. But it's like...
I see it as getting better. It's not as bad, as toxic as it used to be years ago. People are definitely more open nowadays.
I'm the most open guy.
I still don't care what you say. The Viking experience would have been
can't defend that.
Yes, that's even I was like,
that is too far.
I try not to take the stuff personal, whatever. It's just a show or whatever. But that pissed me off.
That was pretty stupid.
I remember watching that in front of my wife, and I was just like, "Oh my god." She's like, what? And it's like I was witnessing a car crash. I was like, oh no. I know what they're doing.
So unfortunate. These guys are dead on arrival. Like they have no chance to come back from this.
It's like every time they've been rebranded like what feels like 5 times.
And then change their names for no reason. Eric and Ivar, like what? Now they're literal Vikings. They eat red meat, or I don't know whatever else. What?
They're pillaging everywhere they go.
I don't know if you remember the Highlander back in the day.
Michael Cole actually
like the series.
Michael Cole actually said they eat raw meat.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, never mind.
All right, we'll get into it.
Michael Cole actually said they eat raw meat.
He actually literally said they eat raw meat.
The worst, the person that got it the worst was Aleister Black. His debut, when they were like, this guy's like for all the working man, and then like a minute later they're like, he fights for no one but himself, and it's like, dude, just it's Vince just spewing BS over the headsets, and it's just regurgitated.
I still say they're holding on to Black for Wyatt. I'm just saying.
Hey, who knows,
just
man?
Saying,
who knows?
saying.
I honestly, I'm gonna lose my stuff if you're right about that.
Speaking of Vince and the ear and everything, I think the worst line I heard, worse than the Viking experience, was Michael Cole as Roman Reigns is coming into the arena. He's coming into the ring. Michael Cole, I don't know how he said this with a straight face. It's Monday Night Yard.
Monday Night Yard, yes.
I cannot believe that man just said that.
That poor guy. Michael Cole is so good on the mic.
He died a little bit after saying that.
Dude, Michael Cole sold his soul years ago. Like he did. He made good with the fact that he'll never be creatively free. He's just good at being Vince's mouthpiece.
I mean,
but
I'm sure he's set for life.
Yeah, but I mean, he commentated on the NXT UK, the initial tournament, and he got praised so much for how good his commentary was, and that was like the first initial like, oh wow, Michael Cole has some serious talent. It's just unfortunate on Raw, he essentially just regurgitates Vince through the microphone, So that's just But you're right, man. It's pretty cringeworthy, man. Poor Michael Cole. I love my last thing about Cole is I love whenever the camera pans to him when him, Corey Graves, and Renee Young are all talking to the camera directly, and he just looks like the dad between his two kids. It really does, man. Oh my gosh!
But speaking of Cole, let's get back to Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby, man, what a freaking
roller coaster of a match, man.
We heard the crowd chanting "Fight Forever." We had what felt like plenty of false finishes. These guys stole each other finishers and sold them like they were actually going to get the wins with them.
Too many. I want to throw it out there.
What?
I don't like. I've said this on the show before. I don't like false finishes. Your finishing move is a finishing move for a reason. Now, you pop your insert finishing move name here, and the guy kicks out. Okay, well and good. And then you hit it again 2 minutes later. Okay, end the match. End the match. Plain and simple. That's my finish move. Don't make me do it 6 times. Come on. It's done too often. That's my problem with it. Finishers mean nothing nowadays. Like, you see a finisher, and you used to be like, oh my God. But now
maybe on the main roster in NXT, I think you can get a pass because you really only see it on the takeovers,
right?
Where on the main roster, it's way overdone. Like the AA, John Cena's AA is the most victimized. No one gets the 3 count with the first AA unless it's a squash match by Cena.
Right.
And then another thing with NXT, especially with takeovers, on the regular NXT programs, usually you get hit with a finisher, it's over. And even in takeovers, as you saw with Riddle and Strong, once they got that one finisher in, it was over. But a main event title match, people elevate themselves a bit more. They can take a bit more because there's more to fight for. Gargano, not just Johnny Champion, he's been Johnny Takeover for the last, 14 years.
He's essentially the Shawn Michaels of the Takeover.
Right. It takes a lot to put him down, and it's been consistent. It's not like, it's just for this one match. He's not taking, he's taking 20 finishers. He's been consistently having more endurance every takeover. That's why Johnny Takeover, he's hard to beat at a takeover. So as you saw, Cole had to dig probably deeper than he's ever had to dig deep down to get a win, just a win on Gargano.
Now, they did overdo it at the last takeover. I will say that.
The 2 out of 3 falls?
Yeah. I mean, because that was too much. He took, like, tag team finishers. I mean, he literally... everyone, the story after the last takeover was, like, you had to hit him with a bus. And I think even Cole like retweeted something along those lines where he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't have a bus available." You know what I mean? Like, but yeah.
Well, even like I don't know if you noticed Gargano's ring gear.
The Captain Marvel.
Right.
Yeah,
so
it
the
made
last
me instantly
takeover,
cheer for Cole, bro. I'm sorry.
So the last takeover, and he's been saving this when he wore an Iron Man inspired gear for like
I remember. Yeah,
Infinity War, Endgame, whatever. So you might think he took a lot of shots, whatever, but basically it's all or nothing at that point. Like if he couldn't win the title after so many attempts after that point, then that was the end game, and that was it for him. Coming into this one, he's as strong as he's ever been. Got the Captain Marvel gear and everything, but I was a bit surprised he lost. I didn't think he was gonna lose that fast.
I kind of felt like it was Adam Cole's time. Like if Adam Cole got passed up this time, it was gonna be done for him. So I really, this was the most, in my eyes, like the most predictable match for me. Because Gargano's championship reign, I think, tied very closely to Tommaso Ciampa. And with Ciampa being injured, Gargano just doesn't have that great of feuds because his feud with Ciampa was
it was cut short, honestly.
Cut short and well established.
And not even through the injuries. They were randomly called up with Ricochet and Black in the middle of their story.
Yeah,
that was like that. It just
that was tough.
This was a storyline like 10 years in the making. Like it was a long road to get there, and just for it to be cut off for some random ratings boost, I don't know, it messed things up, honestly.
Yeah, and it's going to be constantly referred to as like one of the biggest NXT what ifs. Or NXT it could have been. But before we get too distracted here, this does remind me that Rob, you should watch one of the other matches. You should just add it to the laundry list. Is watch the first match, watch. I don't know if it was the first match, but watch the match from the Cruiserweight Classic between Gargano and Ciampa.
Wow, yeah.
That was their first big match facing off, and they weren't even in a feud. They were a tag team, and they entered a tournament to be crowned the first 205 Live champion or Cruiserweight champion.
They were not even signed to NXT at that time. They were still doing independent promotions.
Yeah, man.
I went to there was a show in Chicago, and I think it was one of the last indie shows that it was the last indie show that Ciampa did. He happened to be there. This was a while ago. So yeah, very good match. They were not even signed to NXT. They put it all on the line on the first match ever against each other.
It was insane. I remember watching Gargano spinning back elbow Ciampa in the face, and me being familiar with MMA, I was literally like thrown back in my seat, like, oh my god, how did that guy not get knocked out? It looked so impactful. Like it looked painful, man. It looked really bad. But the match was awesome, and then the storytelling is what really added to it. Gargano and Ciampa really know how to apply storytelling to their matches, like so well. And Gargano has got the best 1,000-yard stare in the business. Like he really can sell a concussion, bro. Like, oh my god, the dude can sell a concussion.
There's a lot of times in this match against Cole, like I swear, okay, he's dead. There's no way he's dead. He did the dive to the super kick on the outside. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Rob, what'd you think of the finish, man? The whole like Cole calling in his buddies and they didn't show up, man.
Did that happen? I didn't even catch that happened.
So yeah. After there was someone, I think, was it Cole? Someone went for a chair. The ref was out. No, Cole went for a chair. So the ref, takes the chair out of his. Gargano goes for a dive,
and he knocked the ref out.
Out of the way,
takes the ref out.
So as a callback to their last match at the last takeover, where they came out and everything, he's pretends to call them out. So Gargano's ready for them this time, only to be faked out.
Get like a modified pile driver through the ropes. You know?
Yeah.
It was awesome,
I
dude.
popped for that, yes.
Dude, it was so... It was, and you know what? It's the thing that made him lose to Ciampa in their what was it, like the no DQ or unsanctioned match, whatever.
Another must watch.
Yeah,
One of the more brutal matches you're gonna see.
Every match Gargano had with Ciampa, you need to watch it.
Yeah,
You just need to if it's Gargano versus Ciampa, watch it.
Yeah,
you know, like it's like 4 or 5 of them, dude. Watch all of them.
It's just like so as much these days, but it was just like so violent. It reminded me of like old ECW stuff. I mean, ECW stuff.
It's pretty much like if you could take the ECW product and apply it to today's setting. You know, it's about as much as you could, as close as you could get to their product without being universal or too violent. You know, it was good though. But at the end, we did get Adam Cole as our new NXT champion, which is great because he is probably the most cheered heel in the business. But at the end of the day, man, who would have thought? Undisputed Era, only one title between the 4 of them.
They've been close to winning them all. They've been close.
I thought for sure we were going to see Undisputed Era. But if there was only one of them that was going to win the title, Cole is who I would have won. So.
Yeah, for sure. This is a great show, man. It's like the whole card, the whole entire card is ridiculous.
All right, so let me put you guys on the spot. All right, who did it? Whose show was better? Double or Nothing or NXT 25?
Oh, damn. On one hand, you had Double or Nothing, which it's a historical show. It meant so much.
No sitting on the fence, man. No sitting on the fence.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna go. God damn, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing. The Cody Rhodes match, like that just hits me, man.
Yeah.
Same. Double or Nothing.
Same.
I would say Double or Nothing.
But no, you know what? It's just I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with Takeover. No. Just for the
no redos.
Fact
nope.
The entire card was good. Like for me, the first match in Double or Nothing, SCU versus Strong Hearts, like I could skip that. And I've seen the show like about 5 times, so it's like I could skip that. I could skip the second match. So yeah, I would say Takeover. Just overall in general. But then again, NXT's been years building up. This is only Double or Nothing's first or second show. They're gonna only get better and better.
Now I'm gonna say AEW, but it gets one big, it gets one advantage that unfortunately NXT just doesn't get, and AEW is history making. You know, it's their first exposure, it's their first impression. That leaves such a stride. Now, if you were to say AEW was established for years or whatever, and then maybe I would give the edge to NXT. But the fact that I witnessed history, that extra bit of specialness gives me the edge to AEW. So it's kind of like an unfair matchup. It really is.
You can't go wrong either way, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both shows were amazing. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree NXT TakeOver 25 and AEW put Raw and SmackDown to fucking shit.
Oh, it's not even close.
Oh my god. And then God help the Super Showdown this Friday? Oh boy, that's gonna be.
I'm only watching Lucha House Party in that match. That's it.
For real?
I gotta represent my people. I'm sorry.
Now I'm gonna take a stab in the
crap show. It's a crap show, honestly.
I'm gonna take a stab in the dark, man. Are you Guatemalan?
No, but that's racist, bro.
Right?
No, that ain't racist, bro. Mexican would have been the most racist thing I could have said.
No, but it's such a bad show. Like, it's not even the wrestler's fault. It's just bad. The whole situation is terrible.
It is, man. It is.
Who's
that show for? Who's that show for?
Okay, we're creeping on time, so we're not gonna get. No, I'm gonna cut us off. We're not gonna get into that bullshit. That show's a shit fest. Fair. We're not gonna get into that. We're creeping on time.
Speaking of getting into it, August 31st, you have the first takeover for NXT UK.
Yep.
Then you have All Out in
All
Chicago.
Out.
And then you have New Japan's first major pay-per-view in London, all on the same day. What show are you watching?
Oh, God, dude.
AEW.
Yeah.
And
fuck, man.
They're all like, because of the time difference, it's like one show finishes and then pretty much the next show and then
Right.
I'm gonna watch all
ridiculous.
three. But if I'm watching one of them live, it's AEW.
Honestly, it's a good time for, as far as wrestling and being a wrestling fan. It's so accessible, more so than it's ever been.
And at the end of the day, we can crap on one aspect, but professional wrestling in a whole, it is the best time to be a fan. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, for whatever you're a fan of, if you're a fan of slapstick, if you're a fan of God, I don't know how to sell Raw and SmackDown.
Look. The best thing about wrestling is that there's very different styles for whatever you want out of wrestling. If you like the sports entertainment aspect, you got the main roster WWE. If you like more hard hitting, strong style, you got New Japan. You like the more athletic stuff with the flips and just more aerials and everything. You have like Lucha Libre. If you want like death matches and everything, you have hardcore matches. There's something for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Man. No, there really is a product for everyone. I think just like the angst and what's really getting people is, I think, WWE is obviously a dynasty, right? And everybody likes an underdog, and that's what's really causing this AEW uprising. Is we want to see a dynasty knock down a few pegs every now and then. And I know this. I'm from freaking Maine. I'm part of New England. I'm a Patriots fan.
Makes sense. Everything makes sense now.
Yeah. So, but I get why everyone hates the Patriots, man. If I was a fan of any other team in the roster, I would be sick and tired of seeing the same team, end up in some form of championship games, So
I just want to throw it out there that I don't hate the Patriots because they win. I hate the Patriots because my team is a fucking shit show every single year. And every year I put my heart into their Kool-Aid and the fucking Lions shit on me. Every year they show promise and they just shit on my face.
Well, being from Chicago, it's not easy, I'll tell you that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Not easy at all.
No. Well,
I think honestly, like, people just want wrestling to be better,
Yes.
Like they know what it is.
That's what I want to see.
They don't want to see WWE like out of the business. Obviously not. You know what it can be. You want to see them push and just have a good
push the envelope.
Yeah.
And exactly. And and how it's going to get there is a topic for another discussion. But unfortunately, the discussion's got to end tonight. You guys, I think that's a great episode. I think we had an awesome time tonight.
We're going to jump into questions. I know I got a couple. I know you got a couple.
Actually, I have to cut it short, man. I'm going to let you guys answer the questions tonight, Rob. I'm going to cut myself a little bit short. But Benji, it was awesome talking to you.
Awesome, man.
We'll hold on to him for next episode.
What's up, Rob?
We'll hold on to him for next episode.
We'll hold on to him for next. I mean, we're already at almost an hour and a half, so
30 minutes over. My bad.
No,
it was a great show. This was a lot of fun.
It was awesome fun, man. And everybody else, thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you again for any repeat listeners that we have. Once again, any suggestions on how we can make this show more topical, more relatable, or just better overall, please hit us up personally. We love any type of criticism that we receive because we just want this show to grow and become better for our audience, because ultimately that's who it's for, is our audience. Once again, my name is Kyle. We've got Rob Rude. Rob?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. And Benji.
What a great sign out. All right.
Yeah, what an awesome sign out, you guys. Y'all have a good one. Stupid as hell, man. Oh, a good one.
All right. Peace out.